going to discuss simple interest. Using simple interest, this is the formula. It is A is equals to P times 1 plus IN, where A is the accumulated amount, which is the amount at the end of the term, whereby if it was a loan, it is the amount you end up owing. If it was a savings, it is the amount that you end up getting after investing a certain amount of money. And then P is the initial or principal amount. So it is the amount of money that you loaned, maybe from a bank, or the initial amount of money that you put into a bank for savings. And then I is the interest rate. We normally write it as I divided by 100. So whatever, if your interest rate is 7% per annum, so it's 7 divided by 100. And then N is then your number of years. That is number of years that you would have taken the loan for, or the number of years that you would have put the money into a savings account for it to mature. Deposits 1,000 Rand into a savings account which pays a simple interest of 7% per annum for 3 years. How much will be in your account at the end of the 3 years? So the first thing that you have to do is to identify the elements of the formula in your question. So we can begin that. The question is asking for the accumulated amount at the end of the 3 years, which we don't have, and the initial amount, which is P, is 1,000. And then the interest is 7% per annum, so it's going to be 7 divided by 100, which is going to be equal to 0.07. And then N will be the number of years, which is going to be 3. And then we start doing the calculation. So we're going to have A is equal to 1,000 multiplied by 1 plus 0.07 times 3. That will be equal to 1,000 times 1 plus 0.21. Those two multiplied together equal to 1,000 times 1.21, sorry, and then that will be equal to 1,210. So that will be the amount that is in your account at the end of 3 years.
You borrow 3,000 Rand from your bank at 12.5% per annum interest rate. After how many years should you pay back the money to ensure that you pay no more than 750 Rand in interest? So in this question, we are looking for N. So N is the one with the question mark. And then the accumulated amount is going to be 3,000 Rand plus 750, which is going to give us 3,750. That is the amount we want to pay back. And then P, which is the initial amount, is 3,000. And then the interest rate is 12.5. So we're going to have 12.5 divided by 100 gives us 0.125. Okay, so let's start with the calculation. 1,750 is equal to 3,000, which is P times 1 plus I, which now is 0.125 times N. Right? So the first thing is that we divide both sides by 3,000. So we have 3,750 divided by 3,000 gives us 1 plus 0.125 N. And then that will be 1.25 is equal to 1 plus 0.125 N. And then we subtract 1 from both sides, so it's 1.25 minus 1 is equal to 0.125 N. So that gives us 0.25 is equal to 0.125 N. Then we divide both sides by 0.125 to isolate N. That gives us 2 is equal to N. So our answer for N is equal to 2. So we must make sure that we pay back the money in 2 years to ensure that we do not pay more than 3,750, which is 750 Rand in interest. At what simple interest rate should you invest your money if you want to grow 5,000 Rand to 7,000 Rand in 5 years? So in this case, we are calculating the interest rate. So we start at 5,000 Rand. That is our initial amount, P. But we want to accumulate to 7,000. That's our accumulated amount, and our N, which is the number of years, is 5. So in doing the calculation, we have 7,000 is equal to 5,000 multiplied by 1 plus 5i. Right, and then we divide both sides by 5,000, so we have 7,000 divided by 5,000, which gives us 1 plus 5i, which then leaves us with 1.4 is equal to 1 plus 5i. And then we subtract 1 from both sides. We have 1 minus 1.4 is equal to 5i. And then that leaves us with 0.4, which is equal to 5i. And then we divide by 5 on both sides. And we're going to have 0.4 divided by 5 is equal to I. Then our answer is 0.08 is equal to I. And then when we multiply that by 100, we get 8% per annum. That will be the interest rate that you will invest your money at if you want to grow it from 5,000 to 7,000 Rand in 5 years.